Let's see if that. All right, I'm all back now. Sorry about that. And welcome in. This is an outfit I have made in Marvelous Designer for use in Daz Studio. It looks a little weird. That looks a little better. And today's portion of the project is to get it textured up. So I'm prepping some things and exporting them out, and then we're going to open up Substance Painter and do textures for probably the rest of the day. It also has boots. I got boots. Where's my boots? My boots are over here. And it has a beanie. We got boots. So we have these nice little slouch boots that go with this outfit. I've got the wrong thing clicked. Hey Daz, how about you select the thing I click on? The boots aren't fitted to the character. Why not? Where did the boots go? I lost the boots. We'll try this again. There we go. So we have boots, we have tights, we have a sweater dress. It's an autumn outfit, and of course I've got bare shoulders. But that's why she's wearing a scarf and a beanie. Let me import in the beanie. The beanie is still in process. I have to do a little bit of work on the beanie before I'm ready to texture that. Something in here should say cap, cinnamon cap. There we go. So it's going to look a little bit like this. This is kind of what I'm working on. I don't know if you can see that or not. We'll try to make it a little bit larger. You know, those boots are probably made for walking, indeed. They're not overly uncomfortable. I'm not doing fur. So anyhow, that's what I am working on right now. I'm going to export actually, in Blender, I got to rearrange the UVs for that. Beauty is pain. But does it have to be, really? Does anybody really need to be wearing 6-inch stilettos? And I forgot what I'm doing. I'm going to remap the hat right now in Blender. That's what I'm doing. Hey, there's Blender. Actually, I need to keep this in here. And Blender is taking up the entire screen, so you can't see all of it. That's better. And I'm sure I missed a lot of comments. I'm sorry about that. If anybody said something and I didn't respond, I'm going to blame Mitch McConnell. I don't blame Mitch as much as I used to because I think it bothers Charles. That is an import. I am looking for a copy of the dress. One of these will probably be good enough. There's a dress. There's a scarf. I need to get the hat in here. It's did I call it cinnamon cap? There it is. Cinnamon cap is in the building. Let's select you, you, and you. Let's go over to UV editing. Let's select everything. I got the wrong dress in here. I totally got the wrong dress. So let's get rid of that dress and get a better dress in here. I probably have one I just exported earlier today or something silly like that. Probably something. I don't know why you were so janked. Um, you know what? I should just export out the dress from here. Let's export out the scarf and the dress. I'm selecting the scarf. I need to set that back to base resolution. Turn off the mesh smoothing. I'm going to hit export on that. I'm going to save that over here. This is going to be cinnamon sweater dress. I'm going to say G8F on that just so I know which one it was. That's not nearly as important. And then we export you out. And that was the scarf. Now I'm going to do the dress. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to have to actually rename you Scarf now, aren't I? And then you're going to be sweater dress. Should be okay. Let's see how this is looking. I think that's going to be better. Are my UVs messed up on this thing? They are. What the hell? Damn it. I could have sworn I had you all fixed. So I have to fix the UVs on this. Damn it. Damn it, Janet. Yeah, that is all. God damn it. What about the other dress? Is that one broken too? Don't you hate it when you're doing that? You're working along and then you realize stuff are all mungled up. Let's go back to perspective view. Let's go take a look and see if the G9 was janked up as well. So I'm going to select the G9 sweater dress and let's take a look at that. That is all janked up as well. Okay, I can fix this. Damn it. So my UVs are all jumbled up, but I think I can fix it. I have the technology. You can make it better, faster, stronger. I got to pop into Marvelous Designer and re-export a copy from there with the proper UVs this time. Are you not doing anything? You are. You're laughing at me. That's what you're doing. File, open, project. I'm just going to need, I think I'll start with, I think I'll just do this one. That's the wrong one. Let's try this again. That's an early version of the boots. I think this is, I'll go with that one there. Okay, and let me just make sure my UVs are actually set up. My UVs, I did set up the UVs. Okay, so we're going to come back to here. I'm going to export out everything except for the cap and the scarf. So I'm going to select all of that. Deselect those and those. File, export OBJ selected. I'm going to save you over here, and you're going to be dress UVs. I'm going to do that. And I think, what did I do wrong? Why am I not getting... My save options are weird. Thin and welded. Unified, there we go. I forgot to check unified. That should have been checked. I think that's what was doing it. All right, let's say okay to that. Let's pop back over to Daz and see if we can fix this. I'm going to select that one there. I have to fix this one, but we'll do it later. And probably not on stream. Okay, sweater dress has got the wrong UVs. We're going to pop over the surfaces and we're going to take a look. That's totally not what we need. So we're going to load in UVs from the OBJ we just saved. So I'm going to do an edit load UV set. Take that and open it and accept. It didn't complain. So now when we scroll down to here, UV set, we should have an optional UV set. If this doesn't update, I'm going to have to toggle in and out to see if that actually, there we go. That's what it's supposed to look like. And now I'm going to do some exporting, importing, and updating geometry stuff. So once again, we'll save out the dress. I'm just going to double check and make sure that is back at base. So we export you again. I am just going to overwrite the one here in substance, sweater dress G8F. I'll do that. Save that. Target already exists. Would you like to replace it? Yep. Let's write my surfaces on that. I am writing my groups, so we should be okay. Except that. Okay, now I need to fix this. So what I'm going to do is, and I want to watch the tool settings. So the secret is when I update it, I don't want to screw this up. So if this all ends up saying something like default, it means I did something wrong. So I'm going to update the full geometry because we're also updating the UVs along with the vertex positions, but the vertex positions aren't really changing. And I'm just going to come over here to substance, and I'm just going to use that one I just saved right there. I think that's good. I'm going to accept that. That all looks good. I think we're good. My materials got reset, so I got to redo those, but that's fine. I think I'm good. Let me just check and make sure my morphs still work. Nothing quite like going all this trouble and losing your morphs. Morphs are still working. So I'm just going to do a safe save on that. Once again, I'm going to name something 2. I will have to clean these up later. Okay, now disaster's been averted. I'm going to fix the Genesis 9 version too before I forget. I said I was going to do that off screen. Never mind. I'm going to do it right now. So I'm going to bring you in. Going to come over to the Genesis 9 version of the dress and just basically do the same thing I just did. Cinnamon sweater dress. Looks good. If we come over here to surfaces, actually I have to select it in the scene, don't I? Select it in the scene, come to surfaces. There's that janky UV, so let's fix that. Once again, we're just going to load in that secondary UV set. Load UV set. So there's the good one that we saved. It's dress UVs. Open that up. Accept. So now we're going to scroll down to this and we'll just dial that in. This doesn't update, so I have to toggle back and forth. There we go. It looks high res because it's picking up on the subdivisions. Let's do that before I export it out. Mesh resolution, I'll set you back to base. And mesh smoothing, I'm going to turn that off. This doesn't update, so I'm going to refresh it just to make sure we're looking at the right thing. Alrighty. Now I'm going to save this out and then update the geometry. So back to perspective view. I still have this selected. I'm going to export you out. You know what? I'm going to do this. And this all looks good. Now I'm going to update this and I want to just keep an eye on these face groups when we update it, just to make sure that that doesn't work. Otherwise, I have to make sure whatever I did wrong, I try to redo. So we're going to update full geometry. With the G9 one here that I just saved. And accept that, and it added extra garbage because there's two dresses in the scene. So I have to clean this stuff up here. And then I can save it. There's no reason for it to do that. Actually, I think it is. If this gets exported with the other version, it wants to be able to tell the difference between the names. I wish programs weren't that helpful. Hey, I'm going to be helpful. I'm going to add extra garbage here just in case. And actually give you extra work. Because honestly, the just in case you never use. Probably the reason why Marvelous Designer adds extra garbage to all its material names too. Just in case. I think this is good. I think I am ready to resave this. We'll just do a quick sanity check with the morphs. Those need some adjustments. My limits aren't kicked in. Let's fix that. I'm in edit mode. Excellent. I'm going to select everything and we'll turn the enable limits on those. And I'm just going to double check. I think everything else is good on this. I'm gonna call it 2 just to be safe. I'll double check and I'm gonna save over here. Bad Mojo overriding the Genesis 8 version with the Genesis 9 version. Sweater dress G9. And once again, I've got a 2 in here. I just cleaned those up. And I'm going to put a 2 in here. And the rest of this is probably good. So I'm just going to save that. An hour in and I haven't really made progress. Okay, what are we doing now? Okay, now I'm going to do some work in Blender. So the hat, I'm going to remap so that it fits the map with this and the scarf. And we're going to do that in Blender. I don't need to save. You are broken. We're going to go get the good one now. So that should be a good one. I'll get that should be a good one right there. Much better. Are you high res though? Did I save you at high res? You look like you might be high res. Let me check the other one. No, you look like you're right. No, that's right. I think that's what it looked like. Okay, never mind. And then I need a scarf in here. Get a scarf. And I want the scarf and this. Does the scarf have UVs or are you screwed up? My scarf does not have UVs. I have screwed the scarf up as well. That just figures. Okay, we can fix that. I should have I should have known if I screwed the dress up, I screwed the scarf up. All right, file, open project. I'll get that one again. All right, this time we're just going to save out the scarf. You know what? I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to call you scarf UVs. And it's looking good. I think I still have a Genesis 8 in here. There it is. All right, let's fix this scarf now. So same drill we did for the dress. We're just going to load in that new UV set we just saved. All right, come down here and actually use it. Just to take a quick peek here in the UV view. Yay! Okay, then we're going to export it, update the geometry, and then... Did I lose my... I'm going to export it, update the geometry. I think I'm good. Yeah, all right. Perspective view. Let's make sure that we are working with base resolution with smoothing off. Okay, I'm going to save you again. I'll overwrite that right there. This should all be good. And then I'm going to be careful. I'm going to update the geometry with what we just saved. Which is that right there. Accept that, accept that. That looks good. This is still fine. I lost all my colors, but that's fine. I'm going to resave you back over here. You know what? I'm going to be bold. I'm going to overwrite that. No, I'm not. I'm going to call it 2. Chickening out. I'll clean these up later. And let's put a 2 right there. In case something goes horribly wrong, I've got the old version I can try to get back to. And that's got to be my favorite morph. I love how I was able to get a morph that's just basically the thing flat. So we'll put that back on. I'm going to update the Genesis 9 one here before I forget to. So I'm going to do the same thing we just did for the 8 with the 9. So I'm kind of in the same place. I use my scarf. Oh no, I overwrote my scarf. I'm going to have to read the... No, did I? I did. Do I have an old version of the scarf? How did... No, I didn't. Damn it. Damn it, Janet. I've got to rebuild the scarf again later on. Never mind. I'm not going to worry about that then. I have all the parts, so it shouldn't be that painful, but still, it's a little annoying. Damn it, because that's the Genesis 8 scarf, isn't it? No, wait, did I accidentally put the... Oh, no, I'm good. That's the Genesis 9 scarf. Never mind, I put it on the wrong figure. Doy. Disaster averted. Um... Okay, we're updating the geometry on this. That's right. Let's load in this UV set right here. Come over here and we'll use that UV set. And then we're just going to update this. So I got to make sure to go back to base resolution and turn the mesh smoothing off. Let me check. That says base. That says off. Activate the export. I'm going to save you right there, and I'm going to make sure that says G9 this time. All right, now we'll update. And as I did before, I want to keep an eye on this when I update it. This is probably going to get garbage names in here because there's now 2 scarves in here, right? Probably. Because that being the case, it probably added extra garbage to the scarf name, material names. Yep, see there it is, it added the extra. We'll just get rid of that and then save this out again. All right, and then resave as a figure prop asset, and not over here, but over here. And I'm going to call you Scarf 2 for right now, until I'm relatively confident that I haven't screwed anything up, and I'm going to put a 2 there just to make sure and accept. And then we're going to close this, and I think I'm good here. So we're going to lose that and import in this one right here. There we go. That's much better. So I want to select that, and this. And actually, let's do the hat first. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move all of these parts. And are you interior parts of the hat? I might just delete these. Let's do a little hat editing. You know what I don't need? I don't actually need this stuff here. So I'm going to select. So that's the stuff on the inside. Actually, do I want to keep some of that? I think I'm going to keep the bottom rows. Maybe like that there. Then I can hide those. However, all of these are up on the inside. So I think I can live without that. I think that'll be fine. Saves me a few polys that way. And actually what I might do is there's a seam right here. I think if I get rid of it, this will just come off the edge there. So I think we'll do that. And I'm going to pin part of this. I'll pin this and then I'll remap this. That's what I'm going to do. And then that should end up connected down here. That's the plan. So let's, maybe can I just select everything along here? And it's probably a seam, so I'm going to clear that seam, right? Clear seam. And we'll pop into point mode. And what I'm going to do is maybe just grab all of this and pin it for right now. And actually, I don't want those pinned, so it's an Alt-P on pins. Control-L. You know, I'll just do that, and I'll just unwrap. Nope. Unwrap, minimize, stretch. Oh, I need to put a seam in here somewhere. I guess I don't have a seam on this edge here. Let's add a seam there. See how that goes. I guess I gotta select that when I do it. Nope, you're not, Chris can't see what he's doing because I got all this other stuff in the way. All right, let's clear seams. I'm going to do seams from islands. I'm going to get rid of this seam right here. Then can I just unwrap you? I guess I need to select some of that. That's better. There we go. I like that. Finally, off to the Lego store. Hey, thanks for the rating room again. I really appreciate that, man. Have fun at the Lego store. I might pop in and see you tonight. If not, you know, definitely we'll see you in the future. And if anybody here is not following your roomkin, you should be. One of the coolest cats on Twitch. All right, I'm going to move all of this. And now I'm going to go back to getting everything in here and remapping this. Let's tab out. Let's select everything. Let's tab in. Can I just, if I unpin you, Control I, no, yeah, Alt P, scale to adjust TD to unselected. There we go. Now I want to try to fit that into there. I've got too much hat. Maybe the hat gets done separately. Maybe I redo the UVs on this. I'm actually not going to do this, but I just want to see what it looks like. That's not going to do that big of a change anyhow. So I had, and it does actually kind of fit, except I'm going to split this up. I think that's what I need to do. This I'm going to then set up here. I think that's what we need to do. So I need to maybe put run a seam through here and mark that seam there like that. And if I control L, I don't see you as a marked seam over in here though. There we go. That's what I wanted. And maybe stick you up there. Oh, you're in the wrong spot. That's my problem. Oh, I don't need a... Did I not have a... You know what? I don't think that selected all the way around, did it? I think I... You know what? I think I got a bunch of polys in here I don't need. I think that's what it is. Yeah, I think I could probably just delete some of this stuff out. So I don't need a seam in here. I'm clear seam there. I think I know how to do this now. I think I know what I'm doing. Let's try this. You didn't... You were a little wonky. Yeah, I see it now. And I can hide that. Oh yeah, all of this stuff right here. Oh, you're still connected. I thought I... All right, Chris is officially confusing himself now. Oops. Yeah, you can't see that. So I think I can just delete it. And then Alt H. Alt H. And I think I'm going to be good. I got to hide this again because I can't see what I'm doing still. Yeah, actually, that's it. That's it. We're getting there. And then I can just move all of you maybe up in here. And then move all the U's down in here. probably good enough. Tab out, select that, that and that. Tab in, select everything. All right, I'm clipping a little bit right there, so I gotta tweak things just a little bit. I'm almost there. All right, that's how the hat's going to be UV mapped. All right, back to layout. So I'm ready to, I'm going to save this hat out. I'm going to go here into the whip folder and I'm going to overwrite the cinnamon cap. So that's good to go. Now I'm going to pull some stuff apart for sending over to Substance. GX over there. You know what? I'm going to use the flat version of the scarf. I think we'll do that. So I'll come back over here. I'm going to have to reassign some colors again. Let's do that. I think the scarf was these first colors over here. I don't know. Do I have the scarf selected? I do. Okay, excellent. It's good. Now I'm going to use that flat morph I've got, so I have a nice flat version of the scarf. So that's the shape I'm going to use in Substance Painter. So we'll export that out. Cinnamon scarf flat. You I don't need. We'll go get the flat scarf. Yay. And I'm just gonna put it over, you know what, I'm gonna put it right there. And then I'm also gonna pull the shoulders off here. So that it doesn't shade the stuff underneath it. So we'll do that in here. And we'll pop over to here. And what I'm going to do is select the shoulder trim and select the shoulders. And hide everything. Actually, hide everything else. GXN. Is that pulling? It is pulling. I'm just going to separate it. And we can tab out. Then I can take this and then I can just move you over to the side instead. And this is what we're going to texture up in Substance Painter. Maybe move that hat a little bit. I'll get it. We're just going to tighten stuff up a little bit, but not too much. Should be good. We'll make sure everything is set to shade smooth. Oh, I thought I had you set. Are you not? Tab, Alt H, or is it Alt H? Yep. That's better. Why are you? And you're shading smooth, aren't you? You're shading smooth. You're looking smooth. You're probably not, but I'm going to do that anyhow. All right, let's export that out. Over to the Substance. This is the cinnamon outfit. Export that. Let's get a copy of the boots sitting over in there. And we'll put a copy of the tights. I don't know. Did I have tights in there already? I'll reset that back to its Control F. I have the wrong thing selected, don't I? Okay, do I have a... I don't think I have. This is just overly dense mesh. Yeah, it's just base resolution. All right, let's break those colors apart. I'm going to do the boots separate. Boots and the hose will be done separately. The rest of the outfit will be on the same map. That's the plan right now. And I am in Substance Cinema boots. Probably good. All right, I think we're ready to start playing with textures. Of course, I shut down my chat, but that's okay. Nobody's saying anything. Here comes Substance Painter. Hello, Substance Painter. Let's put you there. Say File, New. Let's go get the... Oh, I have to save the outfit twice. I forgot about that. So I have... Did I save it? I saved it once like this. And then I gotta save it once like this with no materials. And is that the... There we go. That one right there. Accept that. Everything loaded in. Come over here, bake our mesh maps. We're still baking. All right, done baking that. Let's bake the ID map. Okay, so for that, I'm going to need you. And we got to make these cages really tight. And I'm going to bake that to, yeah, we're going to do 8K on that today. Bake that. Hopefully this doesn't take too long on it with an 8K map, but we'll see. That wasn't too bad. All right, back to painting. First things first, let's do a file save as. Cinnamon outfit. Is good. Let's save that ID map. Save as. Nope, 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 nope. Export texture. That's what I want to do. And that one right there. I'm going to save this as at 8K. And I think I'm good. I think I'm good. I'm going to hit the export on that. And you know, while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to pop over before I forget. We're going to save out our texture template. I'm going to do that at 8K. It's what, 8196, I think. And I'm going to come up and go up and down into templates and there. And you need to be renamed. And I'm going to say Cinnamon Outfit UVs here. And we'll export that. I'll use this later to create the displacement map. All right, so that's good. Let's start. You know what? All of this is basically wool. So let's, do I actually, or knit, right? Cross stitch close up. We'll start with that. I don't know. Do I like that? I'm not sure I like that. Stylized rib. Stylized cable knit. You know what? I think I might use something different on the sleeves and the hem than what I'm going to use on the rest of it. Bridal stitch. What did we try? I'm going to hide that. Yeah, it's not doing it for me. The other one might have been. You know, that might do the trick. You get a little wonky in there, though. Why are you a little wonky in there? That model might have a little bit of wonkiness in there. I might have to maybe smooth that out and fix that mesh just a little bit through there. But other than that, that's not a bad. Although I think I'm going to make it a little, maybe a little tighter. So for the cap, I think, do I want to rotate that? Yeah, this isn't too bad, I think. Does that come with an opacity map? It does. It doesn't have a normal map, does it? It actually looks like it has one that I can use, though. Yeah, I think that'll work. I'm not going to use that color, though. Also, let me try to put something just on So I think I'll take this stylized knit and maybe put it on the hem and on the sleeves. What is the stylized? So let's try that. See how that's looking. Also, I'm going to not use this color. Did I tell it not to use? I thought I clicked you off. There we go. I want to check to see what my mesh is looking like in there. I think I can just smooth it out. It's kind of annoying. And am I using? I am using UV projection. I mean, I guess we could always switch to triplanar, but that's a little. That gets you these little weird uh matches in here. Fill match per UV tile. I don't. No, no, no. We'll go back to UV projection. It's probably my best bet. Yeah, look at that. That's just a little. The mesh is a little janky through there. Probably going to be okay. This is the Genesis 8 version, which means when I did the conversion, it probably had a little bit of jank in there. So what I can probably do is smooth that out either in Blender or with ZBrush to get those to line up a little better. And it probably did the same thing in the back. You can see a little bit in the back too. Okay, that I can fix. I think the Genesis 9 version will be okay. All right, then I'm going to take you, and I just want to put that on the cuffs. We'll say 16 on that. That way it gives me kind of a little bit of a different pattern on that edge. Also, we'll take the color off of that. So that's kind of what I'm getting there. I'll do the same thing along here. Had I been thinking, I might have put it somewhere on here, but I don't think. Yeah, we're not going to do that. I'm done looking at that mesh. That's just in the way now, so we'll turn that off. I'm going to add that bottom hem to this as well. Nice. I think that'll work. Then I just need to add some colors. Oh, you know what? Do I want the scarf to have that pattern kind of in it as well? I kind of like that on the scarf, actually. And this I should probably, maybe I'll use this on that. Although I might want to put it in a different direction. Yeah, I want to rotate that. So what I'm going to do is I'll duplicate this. And we'll get rid of these. And we'll add that to there. And then what I can do is I can rotate this texture by like 90 degrees or something. So it looks kind of like that. I think I'm going to go with that for the beanie. That does really make these seams stand out though, doesn't it? I'll live with it. Okay, so that's the basic underlying knit behind everything. Let's just take a quick peek at my opacity map. Yay, we have opacity. That'll look cool. That'll be totally nearly imperceptible. So I'm just wondering, what does the height map look like? You know, that's probably going to be okay. Yeah. All right, now I just need to think of colors. I hadn't thought this far. Actually, I want to just check something really quick. If I use you, does that actually have an opacity of any sort with it? Kind of does, but that's kind of an... I would have to kind of punch that up. You know what? I don't know. Do I like that? I might make that knit too. I think I want to keep this on the edges. So I can clear that. I can delete, remove, mask. I'm just going to take that and roll it down here. And I'm going to tweak these. Height map. All right, let's set you to normal. And maybe set you to normal. And then let's go to the normal maps and set you to normal and set you to normal. And then when I hide that, the cable knit looks kind of cool. Although I don't think I want it on that. So I think if I use a white mask with a color mask, can I block that out? Add a white mask. And can I do a invert color selector, something like that? Add a color selector. No, that doesn't, totally not how it works. Oh wait, can I do this with my color selector? Yes, I can. Except I selected the wrong thing. No, that's not working. Let's just remove the mask. Yo, I'm only a big child. How are you doing? I'm texturing a sweater dress today. And it comes with a cap and a scarf and tights and the boots, but we're not texturing the tights or the boots right now. I'm trying to decide what sort of patterns I want to use with this. You know what? I'm going to switch you over to normal and normal for the height, and I think that'll fix. There, I like that. I'm doing well, thanks. So I think I'm going to do. And what are you? You're a cable knit. So I'm going to do knit and cable knit versions. And then I got to start thinking of colors. I need to, what would be nice if I could find some ugly Christmas colors or something to use with this. Christmas sweater. I wonder if there's something like that at Rendeross that I could pick up. I've got Render Rossi over on screen too. Let's see. Christmas. So kind of what I want to do is try to find maybe, and I don't know, I'll maybe do that later. Let's go shopping at Amazon and see what sort of colors are good for sweater dresses. Amazon, I'm going to log out of my account. Let's try that again. Sign out. There we go. Boom. Back to Amazon. All right. Sweater dress. That's a nice color. I like that color. Do these come in 7 other color patterns, 14 other color patterns? Those are good. So we can kind of get a feel for what contemporary colors. Ooh, I do have some cool tribal patterns. Tipsy Elves, though. I like that. If I could find something. Do we get a big version of that? No. Dark Rudolph. I have to hunt around and see if I can come up with good Christmas patterns. So of course we're going to do black and white. And maybe what we'll do is we'll see what the Fashion Week autumn colors are for 2025. Let's do that. Fashion Week NYC 2025 fall winter palette. Maybe some stars and snowflakes. I think I do have some stars and snowflakes. That's a good idea. Let's do images. Pantone autumn winter 2024 2025. I want 2025 26. Here it is, fall winter Pantone New York Fashion Week color trends. So I think we'll pull our colors out of this. I can't read those. Can I? And this is Instagram. I can't copy that picture out of Instagram. Are you kidding me? Let's try this. Oh, there, I can read those. So here we go. These are the trending colors for this fall and winter. Hot chocolate, chili oil. I think I'm going to pick 6 out of here along with black and white, and then we'll do, what does that give me for a total of 8? So maybe we'll do 12. So that means I would have 4 patterns. We'll do 2 Christmas patterns. Actually, I'm going to do a tribal pattern. I'm going to try to find a Christmas pattern, and we'll do snowflakes, and stars. Let's do that. So, and also I'm going to add a slight highlighter and a dirt layer in here. So I want to keep that one. I don't need this one, so we're going to get rid of that. This is the option. So we're going to do knit, and we're going to do cable knit. And then we're going to, and the hat's just going to be knit, and the scarf will just be knit with a stylized ribbed wool. Aren't you supposed to be, why am I not seeing? Because that's in the way? Nope. Are you not part of the scarf? You are, but you need to be rotated. And I'm looking at the wrong thing. That's my problem. There it is. The scarf. Oh, the scarf does have the pattern. Never mind. That I don't need. That's an unnecessary layer. Let's group these. I'm gonna call these group layers, and this is just the bases. Do that, and I'm going to put a fill layer in here for colors. Actually, this is going to be, I'm going to just make this gray for right now. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to put in a fill layer here. This is just going to be a highlighter layer. So I'm going to make that all the way white. I'm going to add a black mask. We're going to put a generator on there. I'm going to use this fiberglass. And that kind of gives me highlights, but that's way too strong. So we're going to, and I might blur this out a bit. So I'm going to reduce the contrast. Take the wear level down. Because we just kind of want to add a little bit of highlighting to it. Kind of like that. I think will be good. And it gets stronger in some points than it does others. Can I... You know, you don't do anything, do you? Crunch them out. Edge smoothness. I think I'll do that. And then we just kind of maybe pull, dial that back just a little bit. Like that. I think I'm going to try that. We'll see how that looks. And then we're going to add a shadow layer. So you're going to be highlights. Highlights. And then we'll put another fill in here. That's going to be black. And we'll put a black mask on that. And we'll add a generator. And I'm going to add a dirt generator for that, because that just kind of goes into the crevasses. And then we'll adjust that so it's not so strong and weird looking. Kind of the same thing. We'll dial back that contrast and just bring you back. Kind of like that. I think that might do the trick. And then what we'll do is we put our color layers in down here. So I'm going to just add a fill layer. You're going to be white. Add a fill layer. You're going to be black. And for that, I need a lighter highlighter, because that's definitely punching too much on the dark. So let's duplicate you. I'm going to say highlights dark for this one. Because for dark colors, we really got to dial that back a bit. So it just punches up a little bit like that. And then this one highlights light, I think. So if we're using a lighter color underneath. Otherwise it overwhelms or it just gets lost, depending on the color. Anyhow, that's going to be black. All right, let's duplicate layer here. Let's go take a look at Fashion Week. Chris wants, you know what? I want to add the blue. I'm going to do that, but I don't think I'm going to call it dancing. And that's more of a teal. And do I want to use, and I want to use the brown. And I like that red. So maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to call you gold, not lemongrass. And I think maybe we'll go with those for this, for the colors. Did I choose you? Yeah, 1, 2. Just do these 4, these 5, and that one. I'm going to find a different name. I'm going to try to not use the Pantone names. I don't want Pantone hunting me down and hurting me. You know, Pantone will do that, right? Alrighty. Wow, that looks really lemony over here. I don't like that so much anymore. It looked kind of more beige. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna maybe beige you out a little bit. I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna try to find a name for this. Let's ask the internet what it thinks we can name this. Hex color names. Some of these are better than others. Did that come up with a name? Tan. That works. That works for me. So you are tan. Moving along to Fashion Week. All right, duplicate you. Actually, I'm going to duplicate layer. Is there a shortcut for that? Control D. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, let's do you as that. I like that. That'll work. Let's see what our color namer thinks it should be called. Blue sapphire. That works. Moving along. Pantone calls that dancing. You know, that's kind of a plum. And that's a little too light. At least in my, we'll just darken you up and you're going to be pink. Or dusty pink. Maybe a dusty pink. All right, moving along. Next up is, it's kind of a red. That says Winterberry. I think I'm going to saturate and darken.
With the new U.S. Bank Smartly Visa Signature Card, you can earn an unlimited 2% cash back on every purchase.
Really going on?
Damn it. One of those tabs I had open decided to start advertising. They're not going to go to that site ever again. Control V. Okay, I'm going to try another hex color name. Vivid Burgundy. I like that. That works for this color. All right, and then I just got the one more, which I think was a brown. This is hot chocolate. I'm going to just say chocolate. We'll do that. Chocolate. And do I want to lighten you up a bit? That's probably good. Chocolate is good. All right, let's see if now I've got some patterns that we'll use. I think I got snowflakes actually. Let's see if we can find those. I heard a crow. All right, textures. I'm actually going to make this so it's 4 wide, so I have a little more room. Can I make you smaller? And I have a ton of merchant resource packs in here somewhere. Some of these are kind of cool. That might actually look neat. So you know what? We could kind of just drop that in there. Ooh, we'll do this layer. We'll come back to that. That looks kind of neat. I'm going to end up with too many of these that look neat. I'm trying to not go too crazy with this stuff. Nope, 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 not keeping it, not keeping it. I'm trying to... Although that's kind of cool. And I haven't even found the... I should just kind of... Do I get... I think... Do I have snowflakes, though? I kind of thought I did, but I could be wrong. I definitely know I had some star patterns. We got cherries. Oh, there. Those are... Maybe that's what I was thinking of. Those are kind of like snowflakes. Only gold. Do I have those in white? They're all gold. Maybe you can switch. I don't know what happens if I use that one. I like the gold and the purple. Maybe we'll tile that a little bit. You know what I'm thinking? I'll probably do... I think I'll do 15 textures, which means I have 8 colors. So I want to do 7 patterns. I like some of these. I'm going to use that. I maybe want to use a... If I could get it like a... And then we'll do a stars. Let's see if... I know I have stars in here somewhere. We'll just scroll through these until we see stuff like... Looks good. Actually, I need to do... Let's dupe you. Control D. I gotta remember Control D. I'm avoiding florals this time around. I know I've got stars in here somewhere. I'm pretty sure. I think I do. I think I do. Here's the tribals. I don't know if I'm going to do any of those. I'm thinking tartan. Maybe a tartan would be nice. I'll keep that as an idea. All right, still looking for our stars. The batiks are cool, but not really what I want with the sweater dress. Art doesn't come around anymore ever since he moved to the Philippines. He said he was just visiting. I wonder how long Art's going to visit. And like I said, I think I might do a little bit of shopping Renderosity for merchant resources and see if I can find some nice Christmas patterns. Here's those cool punky patterns. Well, these are some nice tribal patterns, which actually will work really well. Might that... I kind of like that. It's not actually snowflakes. Or something like that. I don't know. These are kind of nice. That probably needs to be tiled. Maybe not. What was that? Is that the green? These things work really well with a sweater. I'm going to back up to a couple of... I'm going to keep that. Maybe that... I don't know. I have to pare these down. I can't make a million textures that just... why not, Chris? Because it just gets tedious. That's why. Oh, there's the stars. Okay, we're now in star territory. Are those the only stars I had? What about you? That's that I might like. Or how about you? That looks starry and almost wintry. I think I like the other one better though. Yeah, I'm still. I mean, they're nice. My personal preference is just running towards this one. Although that's kind of cool. That just not quite works for, I think, a knitted dress. All right, let me take another look back at the Renderosity Marketplace for Christmas. I don't think I'll see anything naughty over here at Renderosity. I think they hide it behind Daz, IRA, Christmas graphics. There we go. It's 50% off. Yeah, baby. Let's take a look at this. Uh, by a Tennius, where I get most of my textures from. Let's take a look and see if I've got a winner in here. And none of these are blocked off, so I think we can show all of this on stream. I think I saw reindeer with IRA. Is this a merchant resource? It is a merchant resource. Can be used to create your free commercial projects. I'm probably going to use a couple out of here, I think. I'm going to see if there's more, though. I'm going to just stick that in my cart for right now. And we'll go, I'm going to continue shopping. I'm back on the other screen shopping again, looking for more textures like that. But that's exactly the sort of thing I'm looking for. Although I would like something that has more color maybe to it. Those are mostly two-tone, which, you know, isn't bad. But if I can find super ugly sweater pattern, that would be awesome. Here's another one, Daz Ira Merry Christmas. That looks like it's two tones, but it's a little bit different. I'll stick that over there. Is there anything I can't show in there? I think I can show this on stream. Let's take a look at this. Let's check this one out. It's not on sale right now, so I'm probably not going to pick it up because I'm cheap. I'll put it in my wish list though. Oh, it's got little patterny things too. I'll add to the wish list, but I'm not sure. Okay, we'll continue a little bit more. Ugly Xmas sweater merchant resource. Let's take a look at that. That's not on sale either though, but I don't know. I want to get this product out by next week. So that's going to be, is any of this stuff? No, okay. I'm just double checking and making sure none of this is marked as naughty. Yeah. I don't know. We'll wish list it. Seamless tile elements. Shades of Christmas poser materials. Also, I got to double check the merchant resource licenses on those, just to make sure. And then, of course, there's always crossing my finger and hoping that whoever I'm purchasing from didn't steal from somewhere. It's not that Renderossi would catch that or care. I saw some of those Christmas textures that I'm going to pick up on another product. Let's see, how are we doing here? It's 3:10. I should start. I'm not going to buy those textures on screen, but I think I'm going to use a couple of them. I'll pick them up later. So let me see. I got 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14. I'm doing 14. I'm going to choose 2 of those textures out of that pack there. I'm going to use the stars and the snowflakes. Then I'm going to go with a couple of the other patterns I have. And, yep, all right, let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to keep that. So here, let me make a group with this, group layers, patterns. So I'm going to need 4 more in here. So I don't like that one. Maybe that one. Maybe the plaid. I'm going to keep the snowflakey one. So we'll put that over there. And then maybe, I like some of these. So I maybe narrow it down. Maybe that one and that one. I think I'll do those. So let's move those over to there. And I'm going to just come through and get rid of these. All right. And where are my highlights? There's my highlighter. And there's my shadow. Is good. So I think I'm ready to start exporting out. And also we're going to want dirt sets with this. And because it's a knit dress, I'm not going to show sewing on there. You would never really notice stitching on top of all of this patterned knitted stuff. Bum, 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 bum. And also we will eventually add dirt. So let's take a look at that. Storm over here. There's the Storm Raider dirt. So that's just going to make everything dirty. And also we're going to tatter it up. So let's add my tattered layers. Torn and tattered. There we go. And we'll take a look at the opacity on that, and we'll tweak this a little bit. So this will make up the tattered map later on. So let's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's start with this one. Let's dial you up a little bit. Maybe. So go with that. Let's try you. Maybe like that. And maybe that one. You know what? That popped in kind of. I might go with that. And then later on in Photoshop, I'm going to rough up the edges along these edges, these bottom edges here. I'm not sure I'm going to, you know what? It really doesn't work with the beanie now that I've got rid of the insides. I don't know. I might see what it looks like with the beanie. And how did you got a big gap right there. I like the way that's lined up on the hip. And actually, maybe if I use triplanar mapping with this one. I'm on the wrong one. I want to use triplanar mapping with you. And then maybe can I offset you or something? Idea is I don't want to look like this would just come right apart. I don't know, that might be okay. So that's going to be the distressed map. And then we'll have our dirt to go with it. Let me switch my view mode here. And just have I saved you? I have. Let's do a little save here just in case. And let's just take a look. I don't do this a whole lot, but we'll go take a look at a render. So it looks something like that in DAZ. Only I want to pop it into Photoshop, and I'm going to tatter up this edge down here, one of the cuffs, and I might touch that up a little bit, or maybe not. I don't know. Anyhow, let's switch back to painting. All right, let's hide you. Let's hide you. And we'll do the black and the white first. So let's group all of this together into one. So that's going to be colors. Uh-oh, somebody fat fingered the cap lock. All right, and let's put these into a group. Highlights and shadows. Highlights and shadows. There we go. And then I can close you down. And then I can do, I'm going to do this. And we'll save out the black and the white with the cable stitch and the base stitch, cross stitch. Knit. I'm going to call it knit and cable knit. That's what we're going to call it. So right now we're set up for knit. I'm going to hide the patterns. We're just going to do, we'll do the white first. So Control Shift. Do I need to punch up the darkness on that maybe? Am I in the back? I think that's probably good. It'll be fine. All right, Control Shift E. We will do a 6-channel output on this. I'm going to export that. Am I exporting it 4K? I think I should be. I hope I am. I might be doing 8K. I don't know. I switched 8, but I switched over. You know what? I'm going to hit cancel on that. Let's take a look. I'm still doing 8K. Let's switch back to 4K. And let's export that. I'm going to try to do 8K for my height, my normal map, though. Let's open the output directory. Let's come over here. All right, you get to get moved to the WIP folder. These get to be renamed knit. That metallic map looks like it's completely black because there's nothing metallic in here, so that goes away. I don't know, is that roughness map just a gray? There is some variation in there, so we're going to keep that roughness map. Let's select all of this. Is going to be white. And these are going to be, I'm going to rename those. Outfit. Outfit knit. I'll apply that. All right, let's come over here. I'm going to hit save. I'm going to close you. I'm going to try to export an 8K version of the height and the normal maps. Control Shift E. Did I set up a height normal exporter in here? That would have been cool, but I don't think I did it. There's a metallic bumps. There it is, bumps. I did do it. Yep. And I will do it like that. This will make for some hellaciously large normal map. So I'm going to export that. And this might, oh, that actually went nice and fast. So there's the knit height. Where's the new, there's the new height map. There's the knit normal, you know what, we'll get rid of those. I'm going to just rename you guys. How big is that normal map, by the way? 19 megabytes for one simple map. That's 20 megabytes for that one. That is probably, you came out to 20? Are you all at 8K? You're 4K. You're 4K. You're 4K. Why are you? Because I made a copy. Damn it. There we go. We're good. All right, I'm going to apply that. This is good. I'm going to put these over into, let me make sure I'm getting something in the opacity. I can see. Yeah, we got a little bit of opacity there. All right, Control X. Let's head over to the runtime folder. Let's go find out if we got anything in textures yet. Project, there we go. Cinnamon outfit. Cinnamon. Here. And then in here, new folder. This is for the outfit. Do that. Paste this in here. All right, we'll pop back over into here. All right, let's do the cable knit. Bump and normal map. So I'm going to hide that. That brings up the cable knit. Control Shift E. Export that. Is done. Pop back over to the exporter. Gonna rename these. And that's gonna say cable knit, and I'll apply that. Pop back over to here. This time, we'll just do the old 5-channel. Although I really need just the color. And actually, let me cancel this. Let's flip the black on. And now we'll do 5-channel and export. And I'm doing it in 8K. Cancel that. Back over to here. Switch you back to 4K. Export that. All right, now we pop over. There's the color. You I don't need. You I don't need. You are completely black, so I don't need you either. So I need to rename that. Knit cable. And this just gets to be black. All right, let's cut all of these out. Now we'll just knock out the colors. Actually, I need a couple of roughness maps for worn versions. So here, let me put the dirt on. I'm just going to do 5. Just do that real quick. And actually, now I got a worn black color. So I don't need you, I don't need you, and I don't need you. You may be exactly the same. Well, you know, you're a little bit different than the other one. You can see some variation. So that one becomes cable knit. And I'll say, do I want to put worn here? I'll put worn here. And this is the worn black color. Alrighty. Alright, black off, knit back on, Control Shift E, export, pop over to here. Alright, don't need. That's worn white. I fat fingered something in there. And then you would be worn knit. I can see a little bit of a difference between the regular knit and the cable knit with the wear. More knit roughness. Okay. Control X. Pop over to here. Control V. I might as well knock out the tattered map real quick here. So we'll turn that back on. Control Shift E. We're just going to do an opacity map. Right there. Export you. Come over here. You're just going to be tattered opacity. Put that over there. All right, now I'm ready to just crank out the colors. We'll do the clean colors. Black and white are done already. And then we'll knock out the worn colors. So that gets turned off and that gets turned off for now. I'm going to turn you off and we'll just come through here. Tan. Control Shift. And do I have my highlight shadows? I do. I'm good. If I do that, does that work a little better? That works a little better for the tan, I think. Does that make a big difference with the white? Should I have used that with the white? I probably should have used that with the white. Yep, I'm going to resave the white. Let's switch you to base color and export that. Pop over to here. Have that say white. All right, moving on to the tan. Chocolate. You know what? That's a little too much for that. Vivid burgundy. Yep. Did I? Yeah. I got too many eyes in burgundy. All right, dusty pink. Plum. And blue sapphire. All right, let's get those out of here. All right, moving along. Let's get the. I've got 4 patterns I can save right now, and I have the 2 more Christmas patterns I'll add later. I'm going to just call you pattern 1. Pattern 2. Oops, wrong button. Snowflakes. Gold snowflakes. I'll just say that. And stars. Right, let me knock out the worn colors. And then we see if we can get the boots going. All right, let's add the dirt. Worn stars. Uh-oh, something happened. And I can't see because I got stuff in the way. Yo, it's Rod Shelley. Howdy, hi, and hello. Just dropping by. For a few, you might be late for tonight. We're going to dinner. Ooh, with a friend you've known since high school. That's a year or two. We're just exporting out textures. We're texturing a sweater dress. Um, that I'm going to call gold snowflakes. Control V. Gold. Snow. Flakes. I think that was pattern 1. That was pattern 2. and worn. Pattern. Row 2. All right, now we got 6 worn colors to do. Oops, I needed you. So blue sapphire. Let's capitalize that. Plum. Dusky pink. Dusty pink. Vivid burgundy. I'm in the wrong. Chocolate. And tan. Control Shift E. There we go. Hit save on this. We'll come over here, change the name on that, and we'll move that over. Let's get one of the pattern colors on the outfit in Daz, and then I'll try to set the boots up in Substance Painter. Control V, tan, underscore, control A, control X, hop over to here, control V, in Daz, control Shift F, let's do that. I'm probably not going to save these, but I kind of want to see how they're looking. That hat's sized for Genesis, whatchamacallit. You probably don't even have the right mapping on there. I think I resaved the over in here. I did resave the cinnamon cap, I think. I think that's good. Let me take a look at. Yeah, that looks fine. I don't know. Should I split that into a knit cap and knit cap band? I might do that when I resave it. I might add an extra material zone. But anyhow, that's looking good for right now. So we'll grab all of these. We'll chuck our generic shader on there. Come over to here. I still have to make a displacement map. And what we'll do is, and then we'll just, I'm going to do pattern 1 base color. We'll put that in here. And what do I need? So we don't have metallicity on here, so we crank that all down to 0. I do have the 2 roughnesses. I'm going to do the cable knit to start with. So I got the cable knit roughness here. We'll put that into our glossy roughness channel. I have my cable knit height map. I will put you into the base bump channel. I have the cable knit normal map. We will put you over here into the normal map channel. And we do have an opacity map. It's ever so slight. You may not even notice it. And I'm not seeing the cable knit opacity. Did I don't think it got saved. I have the knit opacity. I'm going to use that for right now then. I have to go back and resave and make sure I can dig up the cable knit opacity. Should have been right there. Anyhow, let's take a look at how this is looking. Crazy, baby. Crazy. That was the wrong program. And then we'll set the boots up in Substance Painter and call it a day. It definitely is going to need a displacement map to really make this look better. My normal and my bump maps really aren't showing up here, are they? Maybe if I zoom in. Also, it might take a little while to resolve for them to get the definition in here. I can see it in the cap now, but it's getting a little smoothed out. Also, that no displacement map makes that look really weird. I think I'm going to tweak the... I might tweak the bump map a little bit. I think for right now, though, we can maybe just over crank the bumpiness. We'll try that. And I'm going to tweak my here. You know, let's switch this to iRay view here, and I'll tweak my scene settings. Do I have my weird light set going? I do. Let's hide you. You know, it's looking a little better. You know what? The max on bump maps is 50. And maybe if we use a map that's not so colorful, might make it easier to see, or not so patterned. Are you not... Do you not have a higher resolution? Geez, I don't have a higher resolution on my my scarf. No wonder it looks so janky. Edit geometry, convert to sub D. It looks a little weird. That's just because I have the bump map cranked up so much, I think. And now I've got like basically nothing in there, right? Open with Photoshop. All right, let's try that. So we'll bring you in, get you over into here. Control S. I'm overpowering the normal map. If I set you back to 1. Now I've cranked up the base bump. Maybe over cranking the normal map might work out better. Because I'm getting these weird kind of shading when we crank the base bump up too much, right? You can see it right there. But if we pick the bump back down, I might even get rid of the bump in this case. And then if we could take you, what if I take you to 50? I'm still getting the same thing, aren't I? It's not as bad. And you are actually a different map, aren't you? Is that as bad? Maybe we go with that. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. Anyhow, let's get the boot started. I'm gonna go back to texture shaded here so I can get the fan to stop running so hot. I don't need anymore. Come back over here. I should save on this, so we'll do file, new. Oh, I have to save out a copy of the boots, so let's pop over here real quick and tab out. I'm gonna do an import. I'm in the substance folder, so I'm going to get the boots, shade smooth, export. I'm going to overwrite the boots with materials, and then we export again without materials. I'm thinking thing can get you in trouble. Oh, that thinking? I gotta stop doing that. It's a bad habit. All right, let's select the boots. Boom. Okie dokie. There we go. Let's get our maps baked. I have no idea why the camera is always behind your object when you bring it in. That always just strikes me as kind of weird. It hurts my brain. That happens a lot to me. Oh, and tonight we're going to do Halloween's anniversary. Yay. Special guest. There'll be a special guest. I'm cheap shots are back on the table. We'll maybe do a little rave. I've got costumes. I got the cheap costumes. Uh, Headbands. They're headbands. So anyhow, are you done? You're still baking. Okay. You're done baking. All right, let's get that ID map made. That one right there. Let's make that cage really small. Let's get small. And crank the resolution on that up to this. Should be good. Let's go over to the painting. Let's save this. Cinnamon boots. Is good. I'm going to try the velvet. I haven't used the velvet in a while. I'm going to use it like a suede. Red velvet is so pretty. it looks really cool. Let's try a worn leather. I'm gonna come over here. Hey Chris, you gotta go cook dinner. All right, Charles, we will catch you later, buddy. You'll be in the background for a little while. We'll be raiding in a couple of minutes. And anyhow, and I think you'll see me tonight. I hope so. I hope you're there. Everybody, CS Bond is leaving the building. Well, actually, just walking into the kitchen. Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah, and I think it's Charles, but I'm not sure. I could be wrong. I think I'm going to take this lambskin, warm lambskin leather, and put it on the bottom of the boot. Nope, I'm not going to use that. Maybe cotton jeans, denim, leather grain. Let's take a look at what we got over here. I thought you were going out for dinner. That Rod is always hungry. You're going out for dinner, but that doesn't mean you're going to eat, right? I think I'm going to add sewing to this. Okay, I think. Oh yeah, and I want to do oh no, my normals are flipped on the inside here. Wah wah wah. Or did I even do an inside? I think I did an inside. I think that's it right there. Let's do suede. Suede leather dark. I think I can just put you there. You did the whole thing. Let's try this again. Am I suddenly not? I don't know. Let's put a black mask on that. Let's put a color selector on there. Let's pick a color. All right, that's on the inside. Can't eat as much as you were when you was 35. And you're only 36, right? All right, I think I'm going to call it here for the day. So we've made some good progress. I have saved these. I don't think I'm going to I don't know, maybe we'll do a red version, but I'm probably leaning towards, if I duplicate you, and where are my colors? I don't get color options in here, do I? I'm gonna have to put a filter on this, and we'll use the good old HSFL filter, and then I can just kind of tweak the hue and the saturation, and we can kind of do that. I'm going to kind of do that. Oh, Alana. Oh, shoot. You got here right at the end. You did get here right at the end. Are you on? I'm making a sweater outfit. It's going to look kind of like that. It has a scarf, and it has a sweater dress, and it has a beanie. And it'll have tights, and it'll have boots. Those boots are fire. I like how they came out. They're fine. They're fine. Thanks. I appreciate that. Anyhow, yes, you are. You're in time for the end. I'm gonna hit save on this. I'm gonna close that down. Um, can you buy a pair of those? Honestly, I'm not sure anybody actually makes boots exactly like that. Although you can find slouch boots. I cannibalized one of my older boots to turn it into slouch boots, so there's a fair chance that nobody actually makes a boot that looks exactly like that. It's kind of a sort of a working cowboy boot converted into a slouch boot, something like that. You're not enough on a consecutive day streams yet? Oh no. Anyhow, let's see, where are we? Let's find somebody to raid. Thank you all for being here. We will be back tonight though, 8 p.m. for the Saturday Night Social, which is also, I don't know, Halloween and a 6-year stream anniversary. Um, Cheap Shots will be back. I'm gonna have a special guest tonight. And cheap, really, really, really cheap costumes. So join us then, 8 p.m. tonight, Saturday Night Social, 6-year stream anniversary. Happy Halloween. So let's find somebody to raid now. Um, 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 um. That's right, it's a party. My brain has stopped. And let's see. Am I still streaming? Is my stream still going over here? It is. All right, let's see who's on the Twitch first. The boots you love, you wore to death, weren't real leather. Oh no, now they're all trash and aren't fixable. Damn it. That's the problem with not being super rich, is you just can't afford to get the really good stuff. Taddy's doing a special event. Maybe we'll just go over and hang out with Taddy. Our good friend Taddy Bate, the artist formerly known as Toilet After Dark. I'm doing a quick check to make sure there isn't somebody else down here who I want to go hang out with. I think my friend Ike is going to be streaming all next week, starting Monday, so keep an eye out for her. Yeah, I think we'll just say hi to Taddy. I think that's it. You might have been. It's back when I only had music friends. Back in October of 2019. And my crowd isn't really that much larger now. Actually, when I first started it, I struggled to get 1 or 2 people. Because nobody now I struggle to get 5. But I get a good solid core of really, really good regulars, so that's worth a lot. Anyhow, so, yeah, I think Rod might have been here in the early days. Charles is a little later. I think Dr. DK had popped in the early days. Emerga, was in here from real early on. Still pops in about once or so a week. Um, and I'm going to do this. So if you're on YouTube, thank you, like and subscribe. If you're on Twitch, feel free to join the raid. We're going to go over and say hi to our good friend Taddy. Let's see what it says. Making art for a cause, action against hunger, fundraiser, raid train. Let's go! Exclamation point! Food week. So a bunch of the friends have been doing food week. So we're going to go over and hang out with them. Oh no, not ads. Damn you, ads. I'm going to wait for just a minute. Let me know when ads are done. Oh, you're back. Okay. I think. All right, let's do this. Let's go over and say hi to Taddy. That's right. Like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Feel free to join the raid if you can. Or Taddy Bidet doing part of the food week. All the friends have been doing food week this week. So let's do this. Hey, I have a Discord. Feel free to join. Hey, I sell stuff at Daz. Feel free to buy. Hey, I'll be back tonight, 8 p.m. Saturday Night Social. Feel free to join. If you go to the Discord and put stuff in the gallery, we will share that tonight. And we have the raid calls. If you're not a sub, feel free to use that. If you are a sub, feel free to use the sub raid call. There we go. Dum dum dum. I'll wait a minute for Elena to catch up because she's probably a few seconds back in space. Yes, let me do this. Let's start the raid. Raid. Not Chris L. Cox, Taddy Bidet. We want to raid the Bidet, the Tadmaster, the Tadinator, the Bidayer, the Bidayerino. There we go. Anyhow, if I don't see you tonight, I hope you have a good rest of a Saturday or Sunday for those of you on the happy side of the planet. And hasta la vista, baby.